So welcome. It's a big year-end celebration, 2024. A big year. We had some definite success, and we're gearing up for an active 2025. So some of the reasons we're celebrating include our North Shore Channel Extension Project, which we worked on for some years, and our work led to a feasibility study, and that results of that are going to come out next week. So fingers crossed, hoping for some good results there.
All right.
Yeah. Another example of some of our activity is the Church and Dodge Street plans at ETHS, where the city had an event and some ETA members were able to be there and kind of critique the plans because it was a step backwards as far as multimodal transportation. So the city actually has gone back to the drawing board. We don't know what the impact will be, but it's a good sign that they've taken that feedback and taken it seriously.
Yeah.
Who here joined us on a Downtown Evanston Association Evanston ride?
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome, sexy bikers. And despite that language, Andy's asked us back for 2025.
All right. Andy.
If you have any ride suggestions or comments about the past season, or any suggestions about bike infrastructure problems, solutions, suggestions, we have cards back there. You can put them into the Dropbox, and we will be drawing $100 gift certificates out of that later tonight. Lots of other things to talk about, things to mobilize for. I don't know if anyone is aware of or participated in the Envision Evanston 2045 project. It's a community conversation about planning for the future, and ETA and the entire community has been encouraged to offer opinions. ETA has suggested updating the bike and mobility plans as part of our response. Other hot topics. Those against the Chicago Avenue bike lanes have shared a letter and list of businesses and residents in opposition to the bike lanes. ETA is collecting signatures to support the continuation of the lanes at now and at Davis, and would connect with the Rogers Park Greenway. If you haven't already, please consider signing our petition online, and especially attending the meeting on the 10th at 7 p.m. at the Crown Center. Now, there are lots of different types of bikers, and there are lots of different viewpoints, and we won't all agree on everything. Definitely not. You think bike advocates would agree on everything, but my experience is there's heated debate and disagreement. But tonight, we're not here to argue. We're here to gather under one tent and celebrate and share some ideas, stories that may inform our views. We have this impressive lineup of speakers, something we've never done before, and something that will probably be imitated at meetings all across the country, maybe. We'll see how it goes. We're going to set the timer for 5 minutes for each speaker, after which a sound will play. That sound, what's that sound like, Lee? So it's subtle, but
louder.
It's a polite bike
How about a horn? Auga.
Freight train.
Anyway, I'm going to start things off. And I'm likely to go over. If anyone's likely to go over, it's probably me.
Hit the sound, Lee.
Lee, you can start the timer. So this is a picture of me back when I moved to Chicago in the mid-'80s. Back then, I biked around Chicago. It was a little daring. But then in the late 90s, I moved to Evanston, and it was a lot more relaxed. And, it was less stressful. In the early 2000s, I attended input sessions for the first Evanston bike plan. We started with a map of Evanston, and we put stickers on the destination, the trouble spots, classic community planning activity. So you probably all participated in something like that. But I wanted to commute downtown via the Lakefront Trail, and I wanted to recreate on the Green Bay Trail, the Channel Trail, the Forest Preserve. But we were working on a map of the island of Evanston, and my destinations weren't on the map and my input not heard. Several years ago, a few of us started looking for ways to connect these lines around us. We started with this regional map highlighting Evanston as the place where the trails come to end. And we imagined a future where Evanston could become the place where the crossroads become the trail crossroads of the North Shore. From my perspective, trails are the spine of bike planning, with safe street routes connecting to that. Planning bike routes without regard to trails, to me, is like planning a city 100 years ago without regard to the railroad, or 75 years ago without regard to highways. ETA sought opportunities for connecting our trails, and we have several concepts, and I won't dive into those here due to the time limits. Happy to discuss any other time. However, we learned about one concept from fellow advocates in Wilmette to extend the Channel Trail beyond its endpoint into Green Bay Road and run it along the canal to Wilmette Harbor and Sheridan bike lanes. This could also allow us to connect to Poplar Street and north to the Green Bay Trail, through the North Shore, through all the way to Kenosha, Wisconsin. Heading south into Chicago, one can connect to the 312 River Run and on to Belmont Street, almost all of it on trails. To pursue this connection, we made lots of presentations like this, stories published, meetings, emails, bike rides. Finally, we spoke to the right person, Councilmember Bobby Burns, and he said afterwards, "What's next?" What's next were more emails, meetings, presentations, but eventually a feasibility study was agreed on, funded, staff, and we're awaiting those results next week, so that's very exciting. We've never actually accomplished anything besides talking about it. So that's kind of the power of persistence and group advocacy. And with the recent infusion of youthful energy and focus, ETA has become more responsive to city planning. For instance, a plan for updates to Church and Dodge in front of the THS were recently presented. This area is perhaps Evanston's key multimodal destination, but we felt the plans didn't enhance this key intersection. We shared our critique, and as I mentioned, the plan is being reconsidered.
No more riding on the sidewalk on Church.
Some of us sat through the Evanston's 2045 input session. This is what we've been waiting for, an opportunity to help shape long-term plans for the city. And city leaders have asked for our input, as well as the whole community. The meeting we attended was loud, chaotic, maybe unsatisfying. But please, if you haven't browse the document yourself. It's pretty well written and nice graphics and maps. But what I see is the same problem from 20 plus years ago. We're starting with a map of the island of Evanston. It's hard to plan in public, hard to include the aspirational, make room for the inspirational. How to create space for the extraordinary. How did Chicago's planning lead to the 606 Bloomingdale Trail or the 312 River Run? How did New York City plan lead to the High Line? How did Milwaukee's plan sell the concept of lakefront landfill and a museum with wings? Can Evanston aspire to a continuous lakefront trail? Can we create a master plan for a second waterfront, the Channel, with a continuous trail linking the growing series of attractions? Can we plan a network of safe streets throughout the city? And as I mentioned, please attend the 12:10 meeting at Robert Crown. Oh, there's a bike trying to get past me. Hopefully this is our opportunity. But I think we need to begin with a map that includes our neighboring trails, lanes, destinations, transit options, and travel patterns. And we need to pool a lot of opinions and support. If you feel motivated, please join the peloton. There's power when biking together.